Hi everybody, this is Tyler Alford, broadcasting from WICR. So today I'm going to go over some topics about like healthy life and ways that medicine is going to advance in the next couple years to be incredibly good for everyone in our society, which has great benefits for the pretty much the entire world. But first thing is, I know if you like coffee, I know I do. There's a great news out there, and I'm gonna give you another excuse to get that second or third cup of coffee, because I know that sometimes you think that coffee is like not the best for you, but actually there's been studies shown that it's supposed to decrease the chances of type 2 diabetes. And the thing is that with the type 2 diabetes, I know the it's not the first time that coffee's been associated with decreasing the chances of the diabetes. But there's a new test that was just done, and actually when you upped your consumption of your coffee intake by more than a cup a day, you have 11% lower risk of type 2 diabetes compared to people whose consumption either stayed the same. And then if you decrease your consumption of coffee, it actually increases by the risk of diabetes by 17%. So make sure if you're drinking, just drink as much coffee as you can. I know you might be skeptical about this, but the new data is found on 120,000 health professionals who have been doing this long-term study. So they've been looking at coffee drinkers over 4 years, and like the habits they do and how often they drink, when they drink. And so far the findings have been that drinking up to 6 cups, so this is 6 8-ounce cups of black coffee a day, lowers your risk of type 2 diabetes. Which, I mean, it sounds excessive. I don't know if I could drink 6 cups of coffee a day without going crazy. I would never fall asleep. But they're saying 6 cups of coffee, and you will decrease the chance of type 2 diabetes by a pretty good amount. So remember when you go get your coffee, you don't want they didn't do a study on like frappuccinos or lattes or any of your really sugary like coffees with like all the cream, because that's the cream and sugar is like the worst thing in the coffee. Like the actual coffee is has the good health benefits, but the cream and sugar, like the flavoring, is absolutely horrible for you. So I know the study they did was focus on like black coffee, 8-ounce cup of black coffee. That's about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, 100 milligrams of caffeine. Excuse me. So I mean, if you want to get another coffee, I suggest get black coffee, and it'll help with the chances of diabetes, which is always a good thing. So keep drinking your coffee. I know it's good for Dunkin' Donuts business and Starbucks too. So let's talk about innovations in medicine that are going to be coming around the next few years. I know I've taken medicine, and I know if you have to remember to take medicine a day, it can be a pain. And following doctor's orders on taking medicine multiple times a day, like especially in older people, is it's a challenge, and it can run the way you live your life. But now they're trying to move away from the standard pills to give medicine, and they're now looking at microchips. Right now they're developing these microchips. They're about the size of a Scrabble board piece right now. So it's pretty small, and what they do is what it is, they're preloaded with a medication, the ones that you need or take daily, and they're implanted into your body, which, I mean, it seems pretty sci-fi-ish and like into the future, but they're actually doing this now. And these microchips are programmed to administer like the drug that you need, like at a given time of the day and at a given interval and what dose. So theoretically, doctors are going to have the ability to adjust the dosage, make it. I mean, they can even stop the dosage when it's done, or if something happens. And right now, they're going to do this with remote control, so the doctor's pretty much going to have control over everything that all the medicine we take eventually. But now, MIT researchers Robert Langer and Michael Sina, they've been working on this idea since the early 1990s. So I mean, this is not a new idea. And actually, in 2012, they first implanted 8 women who were suffering with osteoporosis and had to get these injections every month. And I mean, that would be horrible to have to live with, always getting injections to help this. But actually, the devices, they put them in so they don't have to be injected. The women don't have to come to a hospital all the time to get the injections and see their doctor. And the method worked. I mean, it seemed safe. They had no altercations, and they did this for up to 6 months. This was a trial run, so they did it for 6 months, and the microchips were wonderful. I know the patients said they were easy. They didn't even notice them. I mean, they got used to it, and it was good not only for the patients but the doctors, because it's less time dealing with these injections, and they can do other things that are, I'm not saying more important, but could help other people. So this is a huge jump in medicine, and so they're thinking that they're going to release the first product to the public in 2017, which is not far away. And the first thing they're going to do with it is they're going to make hormonal contraception device, so it's like birth control. And the doctors, they're going to be implanted for up to 5 years. So you're not going to have to take any kind of birth control, or this is just the first one they're going to do for 5 years. And the doctors have the ability to turn the microchip off and on, and then also they can change the dosage and that are given daily. So it's pretty. I mean, it's awesome idea. And now what's going to happen is they're going to make it so that these microchips can stay in your body for up to 16 years, which is an incredibly long time. And saying you have some chronic illness or something that you have to take medicine multiple times every day, this will make your life so much easier. And I know that it's not even that you won't have to worry about it, but also it's going to keep a record of, like, a detailed record of what you took, what was the dosage, what time of the day you took it, for the doctors to look at. So I mean, this is going to be great for scientific studies on medicine and everything. And they're also saying that further, like, as the chip gets evolved, because I mean, this is literally still the beginning stages. This is a slow process. But it can also, these chips can now serve, or will be able to serve as like a rescue device. So everyone's going to have them pretty much, I'm assuming. I'm going to make that assumption, especially like if you are prone to heart attacks. If you have a heart attack, it's going to instantly release medicine, which, I mean, would save so many lives, because then you don't have to worry about getting to the hospital. It's like right there as soon as it happens. And then also, like, say you have allergic reactions to peanut butter or like bee stings. If you have a microchip for that, you get stung by a bee, it's instantly better. So that's awesome. And then, I mean, I'm excited for the future of medicine, especially with these huge jumps in what they're able to do with our bodies. And I know that it would help so many people. But now I know it's not just about the medicine, but in order to, like, live healthy, we need to change our lifestyle. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is, like, this lifestyle change, and how it's not only like the medicine we take, but also how we live our daily lives. And in our current world, I mean, it's difficult to live a healthy and active lifestyle. Like, it requires planning, willpower, and, I mean, perseverance, and those are hard to come by, like, after work, or when other things when life gets in the way, to say that. But it's hard to be living a healthy lifestyle every day. And now there are developers and architects that are trying to not change how we live, but where we live. So they're saying that to change, they're saying that it's important to change our environment, not just our mental thoughts on this. So what they're saying is that they're going to make the healthy choice the easy choice, and it's probably going to lead to it's simply going to be not a choice at all. The healthy choice is the only choice, which is pretty. I mean, it seems kind of controlling, but I mean they have a point, and it could help with a lot of problems that we have with obesity and other kind of health problems that come with not being active. So Jeff Ryson, who's a partner of Gel Architects, who's leading the way in this designing public spaces that will naturally increase the wellness of the people that live there. He says that a healthy city makes it easy for people to get fresh air, exercise, and to meet new people. So he's thinking that instead of how a lot of people wake up, you go to the gym, you run the treadmill for 30 minutes, and then you go to work. He's thinking that before you go to work, he's saying that instead of doing all this like a treadmill for no reason, get rid of the car and just bike to work. I mean, that'll take care of your cardio for the morning, and not only are you helping the environment, but you're getting a workout, and then you're saving time. So I mean, it's a cool concept. I know they're gonna evolve as time goes, and then he's also saying that he's gonna make it the way he's gonna design cities, or like apartment buildings, is that instead of watching your usual Food Network show and maybe eating some unhealthy kind of microwavable meal, that it'll be easy for you to go with your partner, or if you're married, go down to a local like farm to table cafe and eat with friends and eat healthy instead of just sitting around. And I mean, it's a great idea. I'm a huge fan of it. So this idea that changing the environment around us will improve our health is pretty cool. And the hard part is it's going to be reversing our culture where everyone drives everywhere. I mean, and then I know I'm a personal. I'll do this, but if there's an escalator next to stairs, I'm gonna take the escalator. Like, it's just easy, and I know that I'm guilty of that. And they're gonna try to make it so it's harder to fall into these easy outs, I guess you can call them. And so the Center of Architect Design is focusing in 4 areas, and it's transportation, active buildings, recreation, and then food access. So, I mean, they're going to focus on safe bike lanes, crosswalks, and sidewalks, so you can run, you can bike without having to worry about getting run over. Because I know, especially around here, I would not want to bike on North Ave, so I don't think I would make it. And they're also planning on more stairs, and so, like, I know it's hard for, handicap, you got to think about that. But, they're going to focus on this, like, having the ability to use the stairs and trying to have some kind of incentive in order to make people more active. And they're going to also increase our public transportation and and how they go to access the parks and recreational areas. So, and then they're also for the food wise, because I know, like, you go to the deli or you go to Deli Mart around here, and it's all fried chicken or chicken cutlet and deli meats that are too salty to be good for you. You think they're good, but they're really not. But they're thinking that they're gonna give tax incentives to supermarkets and these little delis in order for them to be able to have fresh produce and vegetables. Because I know you go to Deli Mart, they might have 4 apples there, if that, and there's, maybe lettuce. There's no, like, I know you can't get carrots at Deli Mart or anything like that. So they're trying to give these incentives to these supermarkets and chains to carry these kind of foods so it's available to the public. And that would be huge. I know that would, I'm a huge fan of that. But so, changing the environment and the way we live in it is not just for the obesity I said earlier, but there also, here's some other, I guess, features that they're going to have in these buildings and environmental recreation places. So they're going to feature supportive flooring, which I'm not sure how it works. I didn't look it up, but it's supportive flooring to protect your back, which it's a cool idea. And then also they're going to have vitamin C infused showers, and then certain lights that help you sleep, like they're a circadian rhythm lighting system. And also they're going to have germ prevention kitchen countertops, and a whole bunch of new and improved items that will help us live a healthy life. And not even, and it would be easy to do these things. I know right now that these buildings and the communities that they're building, the prices are ridiculous to live there. But I'm thinking that in the future, it's going to be the norm. It's going to become what everyone has, just like what happened, with regular buildings. It's going to become, if it's going to become the norm and become cheap, because so many people are going to be doing it. All right, but we've talked about healthier medicine wise, like with the microchips, and then now becoming more physically active. But let's talk about the brain and like the way we focus. So this new idea of brain training is beginning to emerge. I know you have like Lumosity and a lot of commercially advertised brain games, they call them, to that are supposed to strengthen your brain. And that's a great idea. I know whether you're an athlete that want to just improve your motor skills or eyesight, or just a regular person who wants to fend off dementia or Alzheimer's or other brain diseases. These brain training, there's studies showing that they might be worth your time and might work and have some kind of positive aspect. But it's still very early in the stages of of trying out these ideas. So their researchers are currently trying to develop ways to sharpen your perception and like your reasoning and your memory skills. And right now they're using computer programs, and you get them on your iPhone apps, which is it's so easy. Instead of going on Instagram for 10 minutes, go do a brain game, and then it might help you with your perception and reasoning, which it's definitely better than being on Instagram. Better use of your time, I should say. And a recent study has shown some promising results. They took 19 college baseball players and tested this app called Optimize, which you can still get on the App Store. It's available. I checked it out. It's pretty cool. And the app actually exercises like the brain areas that control vision, which is called your visual cortex. And what they found is that the players on average improve their vision by 31%, which is huge. That's a good number. And then also some of they developed their eyesights that tested better than 20/20 vision. And even if you're not an athlete, it's still a great thing to have good eyesight. I know. Maybe if you wear contacts, it might help with that. I'm not sure if that's possible, but it's cool the fact that they're starting these studies to figure this out. And so you have to remember that they're still in the early stages of sorry if you can hear that. Someone's banging on the window. I don't know why. But remember, they're still in the early stages of making these programs. And anything that's like the commercially launched and released ones, you have to be pretty skeptical about. I know they're pretty much trying to sell you the app. And so they're not always scientifically tested or proven or have like great evidence behind them backing what they say and what they think it's going to help you with. So just be very careful with that. Don't spend a ton of money on these brain games without doing some research first. And Susan Zhang, who runs Working and Memory Plasticity Laboratory at University of California in Irvine, she's found that the gains are measurable, but they're pretty small usually. And it's actually, these games are more like, they're more useful for people who start at disadvantage. So this is like older people or like children with ADD or other attention deficits. They see more results or greater results in these kind of people instead of your average adult. So I mean, if you're feeling like your brain needs some exercise, I know I could probably use that, but you should just try that. You check out the App Store and then do some research before you buy anything, because you don't want to waste your money and then time on something that's not really going to help you. But I mean, it's cool that this is starting out. I mean, it's just like working out your muscles, just your brain, which is a muscle. But anyway, and now I'm also going to talk about these personal sensors, which are becoming wildly popular. I know you can get, Apple's doing a great job with having it. You can put one in your shoe, like your Nike Free shoes, and it transmits the way you run and how far you run and how fast you run to your iPhone or iPod, whatever you're using. I mean, it's an awesome thing to have. And I know, like, if you ever, like, when you're sleeping and you've ever, like, woken up and, like, wondered how you slept, it's a pretty easy question to answer. So, I mean, it depends on how you feel in the morning. But, like, have you ever thought, like, well, how high's my blood sugar or my oxygen and like hydration levels? So they're these personal sensors are going to be able to answer these questions. They're also going to be able to tell if you're coming down with a cold or if your allergies are going to be acting up, and then even does your body need more protein, or all these like questions that we think we have to guess at pretty much. They're all going to be easily found and answered by these personal sensors, and I mean, and it's just going to be transmitted right to your devices. So I know I can't answer any of those questions, and I can't wait for these sensors to be readily available. So, I mean, it would make our lives so much easier to be healthy and able to, I mean, just be healthy. And currently right now, there's these wristbands that answer some of the questions, but the newest sensors are going to be pretty cool. They're going to be sewn into your clothes, or even just like the microchip with the medicine implanted under our skin. We're going to become robots eventually, but it's another issue. And a company called Biohackers, they're leading their industry in the tinkering with these like implant ideas and like they're growing them ever like even more sophisticated than before. Like some of these sensors are equipped with like an internal compass. So say you're a hiker or like you get injured, and I mean this implant will be able to help you to find the nearest help or doctor. And so you'll never be lost pretty much. I mean, no matter if your phone dies or your GPS dies, it's just going to be in you and you're going to know. And then also they're making these implants with that you put in your retina, and this is going to help like the blind to see, and which will have incredible uses later. And then a New Zealand company is actually in its early stages of developing like a bandage. This is pretty cool, that you never know if you're going to put your bandage on too tight or too loose, or I mean it's hard to get just right. This bandage is going to change colors if it's too tight and then make a sound if it's too loose. So you'll know exactly when, like the exact pressure where to put these bandages on, which is a cool idea. And they're also developing these socks. I mean, it's similar to the Apple sensor that you put in your shoe, but it's just in your sock, and it records like your foot pressure, your body temperature, and your heart rate as you walk and exercise. And you're just going to keep track. And so as these sensors become more sophisticated and as we receive more data about our bodies that, I mean, we've never been able to do before, like these constant monitoring of our bodies. I mean, the devices are going to be able to offer like suggestions on, for for example, recommend you like go to bed early since you didn't sleep all the night before, or if you're dehydrated, it's going to tell you to drink more water, how much water. And I mean it's gonna have great it's gonna be a great positive thing for our society. And Shane Walker, who's associate director of medical devices and healthcare IT for IHS Technology, he says that the sensors will be able to warn you when you're getting sick, as well as advise athletes on daily exercise for maximum performance, or recommend that they rest so they don't become injured. Which it's awesome. Walker also believes that due to the rising cost of healthcare, we must invest more in preventative medicine, and I agree with that 100%. I know the more we do, the healthier we are, the less we're gonna have to spend on doctors and whatnot, especially with this healthcare reform and everything. And it's just gonna be better to be healthy. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So keep an eye out. These are gonna be great advances in the medical world, and they're gonna be coming out eventually. I know next couple years we're probably gonna see some pretty cool devices. So my next topic, I don't know if anyone's heard, but the conjoined twins that were actually born on April 10th. I'm going to talk about them. And so a couple from Indiana, Pennsylvania gave birth, Andrew Donovan Lee and Garrett Lee Donovan. And the kids are connected at the breastbone to the waist, and they share like a heart and a liver. So, this is very rare. It's 1 in every 200,000 births do you get conjoined twins. And so the way these two are connected, it's probably one of the more rare types of conjoined because they share a heart and a liver. And 33% of conjoined twins are like connected in this manner. And so there's been a lot of advances in the way, like in surgery and the ability to separate the conjoined twins in the past years. But it's still risky. It's a risky surgery. It says that especially with the heart, especially when they share a heart and a liver, the surgery is particularly risky. And they share the same pumping chamber, and right now there are no known cases where both twins have survived the surgery. I know one sometimes will, but right now we don't have the medical ability to separate both and to keep them both alive, which is a horrible. It's sad, and it's the fact that these two happen to them. I can't. It's just unfortunate, I guess. So in 2006, I know they separate. That's the last time they separated conjoined twins, and it was 4-year-olds who were attached at the abdomen and kidneys. And this surgery took 14 hours, but it went smoothly. And this is like they didn't share a heart like these twins did, or a liver. But the overall survival rate of conjoined twins is pretty low. It's 5% to 25%, and then with about 75% of surgical separations resulting in at least one twin surviving. So, it doesn't look good, the odds wise. But anyway, the thing is, I know the parents have decided that they're going to keep the twins conjoined. And I know it's got to be hard for this. It's got to be a hard decision. And the babies seem to be healthy and doing well. But it's a hard question on whether you separate them or not, because the likelihood of you losing one of them is very high, almost it's gonna happen. But the question is, I know it's a hard question to even say, but should the parents do it? If you look at a picture of of the babies, the one they face each other, and the one's head's like lower on the body, so he's like looking at the neck of the other child. I know you want to save both of them. They're both your kids, and I know that's got to be that's a strong feeling, and I couldn't even imagine what they're going through. But is it fair for the babies not to be separated? I know you're gonna lose one, but are you gonna put them through a life of that is going to be very hard to live, pretty much? And I mean, I know it sounds insensitive, and it's easy for me to say because they aren't mine, and I haven't had a child or anything. But do you try to give at least one kid a normal life, or are you going to keep both of them? And it's going to be hardship after hardship, and they usually, when they're conjoined, they don't live as long as if when they're separated. So I mean, it's a hard question to ask, and right now they're going to keep them together, which I don't know if it's the best move or the right move. I don't know if there is a right move at this point, but I feel very sorry for them, and hopefully everything works out. Well, since that's sad news, let's switch over to some Iona news. I know softball was supposed to have 2 games today against Fairleigh Dickinson, and they're supposed to be home, but they're already canceled. That was supposed to be today, and they're due to weather. That's due to weather. I mean, it's pretty nasty out. And right now, baseball is scheduled for tomorrow. They play St. John's in Jamaica, New York, and that game's still on. That's at 6. If you want to go out and check that out, it's in Jamaica, St. John's. And then softball has a game on Thursday, May 1st. It's a home game against Rutgers at 4. And I think the weather's supposed to be a little bit nicer tomorrow, so hopefully they get their game in. And if it's nice, go on out, check it out. I mean, they're great games to watch. And then Saturday, baseball has a doubleheader against St. Peter's, and that's in Jersey City. The first game's at 12, second game's at 3. So baseball and softball has a busy couple of days coming up, so good luck to them. And outdoor track and field, both the men and women's teams are competing on Saturday, May 3rd and Sunday, May 4th at the MAC Championship. And I mean, good luck to them, especially the seniors. Have a good last run. I'm sure they do. They'll do awesome like they always do. And I've seen them. They're probably running in the rain right now, so that's good for them. And that's going to be at Rider University in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. So, I mean, if you can make that out, that's a big thing. I know they usually do extremely well there at MAC Championships. So we'll see how that goes. And women's water polo just completed their 2014 season this past Sunday. And they beat Villanova 14-7, so they crushed them in the consolation game. So they were playing for 3rd at overall MAC champions. So, I mean, congratulations to them, especially all the seniors. 3rd place, Max. It's impressive. And then especially congratulations to Amy Olson, who has been consistent all year. The last game she had 4 goals, and she was awarded the huge, I mean, it's one of the biggest awards you can get for water polo. It's the MAC Offensive Player of the Year. She finished her season with 107 goals, and which totaled her career goals with an unheard of 368, which is a Iona record. So congratulations to her. I know she's worked hard all 4 years being here and has been a huge asset to the women's water polo team. And then also, in the game against Villanova, Erica Loretis had 3 goals, which is impressive, and was awarded the All-MAC team. And then also Katie Stelnecki, Hannah Cross scored 2 goals, and Rebecca Martinez, Dana Andrea, and Taylor Silva also had 1 goal apiece. So, I mean, the goals were spread around a lot, which is good for a team, especially for growing next year. So congratulations to them. And I know they finished out, their season record was 15-16, and the MAC play was 10-4. So congratulations to the Lady Gales. They did an awesome job. We're going to take a quick music break here. I'll be back in a second. So.
Don't you forget to pray, 'cause there'll be hard times. For those hard times.